Coded November 20th, 2025.
We hear the term fighting. We know that we are in a struggle. We know that combat comes to us when we are going for goals and trying to better ourselves. A wise man once said, every day you wake up, life will be standing over you, ready to kick the crap out of you. And you have to fight for the life you want. However, we often associate the term fight or singularly identify it with meaning something physical. Today, I wanted to talk about the other forms of combat. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Welcome back to Endure, Believe, Rise. I hope this message reaches you in good energy. I hope you and your loved ones are in good health. So we have a phenomenal quote here today. So let's get into it. Quote of the day: battles are not reserved for the battlefield. When we talk about fighting, we are not always talking about physical combat. Sensei Chosen. Song of the day: Texas by Blake Shelton. It is an understatement when we talk about physical combat not being the only form of combat. Matter of fact, you talk to all the masters of combat, the masters of warfare, you talk to the people who do physical altercation for a living, and they will tell you the physical part is probably the easiest part. The doing is actually probably the easiest part. The physical, picking up the weights and working out, the getting on the treadmill and running, the stairmaster, the going on the elliptical or using the row machine. The physical, in my experience and in most people's experience, has been the easy part. It's that mental part that is the struggle. It's that mental part is where you need to start. Because if your mental ain't right, you've already lost the physical before you got there. Before we even try to do the task or go for the goal in which we want to accomplish, if we haven't got our mental strategy together, if we haven't addressed the mindset, 25%, if we're lucky, is what we're looking at for the probability of victory. We must talk about, we must shape, we must address, we must build the mental mindset. And with that comes combat, comes battles, comes the battlefield. See, if I can get into your head as the enemy, I don't have to come to you physically. I don't have to come and address you face to face. If I can address you through a rumor, if I can address you through a whisper, if I can address your insecurities and build on those, this is why being honest with ourselves is so important. We must already be able to say, I know where I struggle at, and I'm working on that. I know where I struggle at that. I've already addressed that with myself. I know what I lack. I've already looked in the mirror and said that truth and accepted that truth, and now I'm working to make it a new reality. But if we're lying to ourselves, saying we have no weaknesses, no blemishes, no setbacks, if we have nothing that we're lacking on, when the enemy comes to address it, now we are hit with a blind realization. Now our mental has become disrupted. And a lot of people believe that mental and physical are the only two battlefields. See, here is the thing. Our people perish for lack of knowledge, so let me give it to you right now. There is physical combat, there is mental combat, there is emotional combat, and there is spiritual combat. And then there's a combination of all of them. There are countless different ways that you will be attacked on the way to your goal, on the way to what you want to accomplish. You must prepare. in all of these avenues for any of these areas to be attacked at any time. And that isn't to say that you're supposed to walk around on pins and needles and be afraid at any time that you could have something. That is not to say that you need to be countlessly and unequivocally perfect in each one. No, that is that you need to be aware of which area you are having combat and conflict in, and which area you are needing help in. I talked to this person the other day, and I wish I remembered her name, because she said, I have to know what my issue is before I come to somebody for a solution. That is so profound. And honestly, she's not 100% correct. What you really need to know is that you need help, but it will help those who are trying to help you if you know what your problem is when you get there. Hey, I got a flat tire. If you just drive into the mechanics and say the car's not running right, all right, well, what does that mean? You just walk into the doctor and say, I don't feel good. Okay, what does that mean? Now, that's not to say that you can't do that. Sometimes we don't know how to say, hey, the axle is crooked and I need you to repair my axle. Hey, I feel dizzy because my blood pressure is high and I need you to help me regulate that. Sometimes we don't know how to do that, but when you know what area you are being attacked at, when you go for help, it makes it that much easier. It makes it that much more seamless. You are now being part of your solution. You are now helping to help yourself. Be not confused, because people think when the battle comes to you, it's going to come in the form of, all right, referee standing in between you guys. All right, depression, are you ready? Self, are you ready? All right, let's get it on. No, depression comes to you and hits you in the middle of the night like a ton of brick. Sadness will come to you when you're walking outside and the day is shining, the birds are chirping. Financial setback will come to you out of the blue when everything was going. No, see, battles are not reserved for the battlefield. And when we're talking about fighting, we are almost never talking about the physical combat. We're talking about the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, and the combination of the three. If you can get your mindset together, if you can get your repertoire together, if you can get your arsenal together for when these things come, I promise you, you will stand. And not only will you stand, it will seem seamless. It will seem easy. When you have your quotes, when you have your movies, when you have your books, when you have your memories, when you have your songs ready for when the enemy comes and says, hey, it's your turn. You look at him and say, yes, it is my turn. What's up? That's when the enemy takes a step back and says, I thought I was going to catch you off guard. You don't catch me off guard. You might have caught me in the middle of doing something else, but you don't catch me off guard. Not anymore, since the last time you caught me off guard. And that doesn't mean we won't struggle. And that doesn't mean we won't need help. But be informed. Again, my people perish for lack of knowledge. So let me give you the knowledge now. Be ready, because battles are not reserved for the battlefield. Battles are not reserved for when we're feeling fine. Battles are not reserved for when we're perfect. It can come out of the blue. But be not discouraged, because I know you have inside of you what it takes to make it through. All right, everybody. I need you to take care of yourselves. Please be kind to one another. Keep me in your prayers. I'll forever keep you in mind. Endure, believe, rise.